let's get ready to make the Ingrid bra. As we look at all the Pinup Girls patterns, this is the one that is non-wired and can be used in many ways. It depends on your size and what you want. You can do it in a sports bra. You can have closures in the back. You can have a zipper in the front. You can use a wide band at the bottom or hook and eyes in the front as well. So you can just decide. But what we're going to do is, for this example, we're going to make the Ingrid bra in a standard way with traditional bra making supplies. So let's go to the back first and read the pattern 3 times all the way through. So right now, let's look at the size chart. This Canadian-based pattern company uses the measuring convention of BCD, bottom cup depth. That means the distance from your underwire line, your breast root line, right at the apex, up to the apex. So, for example, mine is 3.5. You can see that. It's 3.5, and then I just draw a line all the way across to see the bottom cup depth measurement is here. Usually fits bra sizes, and my size happens to be there. Now, I'm not typical, okay? The bottom band elastic can be a 1/2 inch. The strap elastic can be 5/8, and the hook and eyes can be 2x3 or 3x3. These all come in preference. So we're just going to use typical measuring for all of our elastics for this example. Okay, we're going to cut out all the pieces. What size do you make? Measure your rib cage, your underbust, and that's going to be your band size. And on the pattern pieces, the band size will be your measurement if it's a 34, but it'll also have your BCD measurement on that pattern piece. So it tells you right here. So, and we'll look at the pattern pieces to, make sure you have understanding there. Okay, on this particular pattern, be aware the 2.5 and the 3.5 sizes share some common lines. Also, 2.75 and 3.75 have 1-piece lower cup rather than a 2-piece lower cup. So if you're 2.75 or 3.75, all the way up to 3.75, you'll have a 1-piece pattern lower cup. If you're above that, you'll have 2 pieces. Okay, we don't want you to be confused there. You're going to use a mixture of fabrics, and we'll go through step by step as we get to the pattern instructions. For this example, we are going to use Duoplex, regular non-stretch Duoplex. Just like making any other bra, cups are best made with a non to low stretch fabric, so we're going to use that. Here's our power net for the back band, and there's a piece right in the middle. This piece right in the middle is made out of power net. Okay, and here's our bottom band picot elastic. Here's our underarm picot elastic, and I'm going to use the just a stretch lace trim that came with the kit instead of fold over elastic. You'll see fold over elastic being used in the pattern. You can use either. I'm just going to use this for this example. And then, because I'm not going to line it, this kit, most kits typically come with a very low stretch twill tape, and we're going to use that also. Okay, then I've got a 3x3 hook and eye closure and my rings and sliders. Okay, and I'm going to use strapping for the very back, because the Ingrid comes with a pattern piece to make your own strap, and I'm going to use regular bra strapping in the back so I can have it be adjustable. All right, let's get started. Now, when I lay my pattern pieces out, I'm going to adjust this light so you can see better. Because you'll be using very low stretch fabric or non-stretch, depending on the fabric that you're using. If you're using a sheer cup lining, there is a teeny bit of stretch on one direction. So that's where I want you to put the arrows along that stretch direction. Here's the, if you notice, if you're new to bra making altogether, it'll say dogs or direction of greatest stretch. Any fabric that is deemed non-stretch has a little mechanical stretch, not on the bias, but the other direction. So lay your pattern pieces out with your arrows going that direction, okay? And here's the strap. My strap is wrong. Okay, so strap. And remember the front piece and the back band all get cut out of the power net. So I'm cut out the main pieces now, and then cut out the back band and the front piece from the power net. So here's a few tips after we get done cutting all the pieces out. If you have an invisible pen, marker, wash away, whatever it is, use a pen to do your notches. Try to get in the best practice of not cutting notches on bra fabrics, because your seam allowance is sometimes a 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch. This particular one is a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so it's, you know, it's kind of risky to snip into your fabric because you don't want a hole there later on. So always use this. And here's my notches here, and I can just do a red line like that on both sides. So make sure you do your notches so that you can, it's like a puzzle. This particular pattern does a very good job with telling you where to put the next pattern piece. So do your notches that way. Make sure they're all done before, you know, we start putting it together. I didn't mention earlier, but I'm going to do foam on these straps. Sometimes they're just handsome. They're totally optional also. You can choose to use a traditional strap on the Ingrid bra, but foam is really nice too. So here's the 2 foam pieces and the fabric pieces that will encase the foam. Here's the power band, the power net for the back band, and then here's all of the cut pieces. Remember, if you are 3.75 BCD or above, this piece is going to be in 2. This one happens to be 1 for my example in my size. And the power net is 4 pieces. This bra is designed in every way for support. Since you don't have a wire, there's just different areas that it wants to provide support. Example, it'll say 4 strips of power net for this pattern piece. For the front, cut 4. 2 pieces of power net are going to be together, and that provides a lot of support too. Okay, we're going to use stay tape to stabilize these top edges here and on the side panel, which is sometimes called the power bar. All right, so let's get started putting the cup together. We're going to follow the instructions specifically in the pattern, and it shouldn't take long. This bra in particular is one that we teach that it's a very quick sew as far as putting the cups together. All right, let's go. Okay, our first step is to add stay tape or some kind of stabilizer to the top edges of your power net. If you cut 4 pieces, put them together, just treat them like one. And if you have sheer cup lining, that's a real good stabilizer. Some of the kits come with a stay tape, that's a stabilizer. But the sheer cup lining, it's thinner, it's just lighter, and it's very, very strong. Sometimes the stay tape, depending on what comes in the kit, can have a little bit of stretch. But so if you happen to have some sheer cup lining, or you could take a piece of your same main fabric, your duoplex that you have, you can use that since it's non-stretch. Again, everywhere throughout this bra construction is designed for support. So I've already done that part. Here's my sheer cup lining. And if later on when you are putting this all together, if you feel like you need to trim some away, just so it's not showing or anything, you can definitely do that. And then you're going to do the same thing on the power net the power bar. Okay, this is the side, so take sheer cup lining and stabilize those edges as well. Here's a few tips as we're stabilizing these edges. There's never a seam allowance unless a pattern, instruction says where it wants to be stitched, but right on the edge is fine, less than a 1/4 inch. Your seam allowances throughout the pattern are a 1/4 inch. So right at or below a 1/4 inch is where you want to do stabilizing techniques like this, okay? So let's put these to the side now because we're going to focus on putting the cup together. Okay, getting the lower cup. Uh-oh, wrong piece. I'm going to get the lower cup. And in this example, it's only 1 piece. Some of you may have 2 pieces. So the instructions, number 4 instructions are to put those together. But I'm going to skip that. And don't forget, you've got notches on those 2 pieces. So make sure you've got your notches designed in there in your pieces so you know how to put them together. So I'm going to skip to 5 because I've got 1 piece here, and I'm going to put that with the upper cup. So, and what I'm going to make sure I do is, here's the thing. Throughout bra making, all of these pieces look like geometric shapes, right? So you gotta keep them in orientation. So here's my upper cup. Now I know there's a notch right here that says F. And I also know that the notch on the sidebar, the side panel, is F. So I know F is on the outside of the bra cup. So if I were to look at my pieces, like this. So here's my notch for the outside here, and here's my notch for the outside here. And I'm looking at the right side. All right, so here's my left cup, here's my right cup, upper cup. Okay, now this piece happens to say inner. And sometimes if you know that and the pattern doesn't have it, write it on there anyway. Okay, so here's my inner side here. So if I were to look at the right sides of my cups, this is how they're going to go. All right, so here's the upper cup. It's going to go on the lower cup. Here's the upper cup. It's going to go on the lower cup. Keep everything in orientation. Don't touch it until you're ready to sew, because that way it'll get out of orientation. Then you'll be like, oh, what goes where? Yeah, it happens all the time. So right now, I'm going to stitch my upper cups to the lower cups. Okay, here's the beginning of my cup, and keep them in orientation. I'm looking. There's my I for inner, right there. And that's also my notch for C, because the next step is to put the underbust piece on. Now, something about the Ingrid, this is the piece here that is in place of an underwire. And you'll see how it works. So on your pattern piece, it'll say C right here. That's the circle that matches up here. So this is how it's put on. All right, so it starts there and goes all the way around, and it'll end up like that. So let's put those 2 pieces on, and then we'll be putting the center on. Next step, step number 7, we're going to put this center power net pieces onto the cup. And you notice on notch number E, letter E, you want to put this right there. Put this power net piece right there. Let's clip it. You can use pins or clips. Let's clip it right there. You can tell, let's see. There's a little square, so stop it right there. And then also you've got your dot letter C that goes right with the underbust piece. So all these puzzle pieces line up together. So you're doing right sides together. And just take a look at it. Here's your center stabilized piece right here. That's how it goes. And you're going to stitch both these sides. And if you have 4 pieces put together, like 2 pieces put together, and treat them like one. Don't separate them or anything. Okay, so we're going to stitch there. The same for here. Almost there. So hope your top stitching looks as pretty as mine does. Yeah, the top stitching is always what makes it. So kind of top stitch throughout. Even if you forget, you can go, like I did, you can go back and, you know, get it done. So now we are going to put the side panel on. And remember you had notch letter F marked on each side. So you're going to do right sides together, matching those notches, and come out. And then you've got a nice little ledge right there that you're going to stitch these two. And then we will have a complete cut going. And the next thing we're going to do is straps and then the back band. Cups are done. We are not going to connect them yet. These cups get connected separately. They get constructed separately, but then connected once you put the bottom band on. So let's put both cups still separate to the side. And let's look at the straps. All right, I'm going to do the example with foam. So here are my straps. Here's the right side of my straps. You can tell on my fabric, one side is shiny, one isn't. And what I'm going to do, because your straps are going to have fold over elastic on one side, well, let's do it like this in orientation. You're going to have fold over elastic on the neckline, and you're going to have 3/8 inch picot elastic on the other side. And you know what? Let's put them this direction because this is the back of the strap. All right, they're going to go on the cups like so. We're going to go right here. Okay, but the first thing we're going to do is, now if you have a glue stick and you'd like to use that to kind of, you know, use any kind of adhesive to put the fabric to the foam, you are welcome to do that. I'm not going to do that in this example. What I am going to do is just zigzag the side, you know, that inside edge, because zigzagging the foam edge compresses it so you can put fold over elastic on it. Okay, so according to the instructions, keeping the zigzag edge toward the neckline. So it's only on one side. So if you do it here, do it here. Don't make the mistake of doing it on the same side on both. You'll just have to take it apart, okay? So wrong side of the strap to the foam, okay? And just attach it permanently to one side, here and here, using the zig. So let me show you what I did. So we took the foam piece, and zigzagged it on one edge. That's the neck edge. And then you're going to have about 3/8 inch room on the other side. Let me share with you a common mistake in case you don't recognize, you know, that room left. There are 2 pattern pieces. One is for your main fabric and the stretch for the strap, and the other is for the foam. So you'll see the difference. So here's the foam pattern piece, and here's the strap pattern piece. I traced mine. So yeah, so there's that. It happens all the time, okay? So I stitched it to the top of the cup, top stitch down, and then our next step is to line the neck edge. If you're doing fold over elastic, that's fine. I'm gonna do a little lacy lace here. Isn't that cute? So next steps, get the whole neckline done, and then we'll do the back band, which is these 2 pieces here that go here, and then we'll do the bottom elastic, and that's when we'll put the front together. Okay. Now we're ready to put the back band on. Again, the cups are still separate. No need to put them together just yet. So right sides together, stitch here and here, and then our next step, we're going to put the bottom elastic on. Put the back band elastic on. The back band that's cut out of Power Net and a top stitched. And this is all straight stitching. I don't think I've mentioned that throughout the video. This is all straight stitching. Whenever a zigzag stitch is needed, the pattern will always say, but again, this bra is designed for support, and straight stitches are always called stable stitches for stability and support. So everything here is straight stitches. So let's review the two elastics you have in your kit. This is the bottom band elastic. It should be either 3/4 or 5/8. Either one would be okay. This one is 3/8. This goes on the underarm and up the other side of the strap. Okay, so right now we're going to do the bottom band. And this is a elastic that's put on in 2 passes with using a 3-step zigzag. Your machine should have an automatic 3-step zigzag stitch, and just use it however it defaults for your machine. And when you put this elastic on, you're going to do it twice. Going to lay it here. Now remember, you've got the pivot here. It's not really a hard pivot, but it's kind of straight. So what I suggest, come out a little, give yourself some handling room past the edge, because when you put the 2 pieces together, you want to be able to enclose this, and then you can just cut it off. So lay your elastic down, no need to pull. Okay, just lay it down and stitch it. And here's a suggestion. Do your first zigzag stitch. This is a 3-step zigzag close to the picot edge. Okay, you do it close to the edge. So when you turn it, it looks like that, and the picot is peeking right out because the stitch is there. And then when you turn it to do the second pass, you'll stitch on the opposite side. So the elastic is really secure from this side and to this side. All right, and I'll show you. Okay, I laid down the bottom band elastic on the front side of the bra, on the right side of the bra. And this is the plush side of the elastic, which always goes towards your body. So if you feel it's plush here, it's more twill or elastic here. Lay it down so the plush side, when it turns, it will be on right close to your body. Your 3-step zigzag, and stitch right on the edge where the picots are. Your picots are going to be pointing toward the bra. Okay, and you can read that through the pattern. Okay, no need to pull either. So no pulling. And a good practice, I never cut my elastic till I'm done putting it on. So you just want to make sure. And you always have enough. Pattern kits always come with excess of elastics. It'll tell you how much you have, but it's always enough to do what you need to do. With some handling room. I'm not going to cut it right at it. And then turn it. And now, since I stitched here, see those pretty stitches? Now when I turn it, I'm going to stitch on this side, so the elastic is really secure and balanced. notice it's right at about 3/4 on your plate if you've got that measurement. Just make sure it stays flat. No need to pull, but just make sure it stays flat. And it'll be right at this seam. The elastic will hit right there at that bottom seam. I'm not going to cut this handling until I put it together with the other side. All right, other side. There we go, nice bottom band. So you're going to do the same thing with the underarm elastic. You're going to put the underarm elastic starting at the back of the strap, all the way down under the arm, across the back, and stopping across the top. The strapping goes here. So, and we'll do that on our next segment, but we're going to put the smaller 3/8 inch picot elastic on, and you're going to do it the same way you did it before on the bottom. Let's get the other end. And remember, you have the foam here, so you've got about 3/8 inch. So you're going to lay the elastic down on the front, and then you're going to fold it. When you do that first pass, you're going to fold it over, and it'll be stitched on top of the foam. Look at there. And then this is what your strap will look like. The trim here, or your fold over elastic, and the picot edge here. And do that from the back of the strap, down the underarm, across the back band. And then our next steps is to put the hook and eye closures on, the strapping for the adjustments to connect the straps here. And it's funny that even if you didn't decide to do a zipper or a hook and eye closure, you still haven't put the front of the bra together yet. You can decide to do whatever at that point, because the last thing you do is stitch the center together. All right, coming up is the picot edge, the 3/8 inch picot edge, and the closures and finishing.